Okay, so I think we're doing more Blackwork tattoos today. I think that's what we got here.
All right.
So the back piece of some kind.
So let's start with this email. It says, hello, just wanted to send over a pic of my new back piece. Thought it might be up your alley. It was done over 4 sessions. The pic was taken right after the last one. It's only been gone over once, aside from a few areas that my artist touch up. And no, it's not a cover-up. I just really like traditional black roses. Hope you like it. Oh, wow.
So what I would say immediately is if it's been gone over since, then it's been done more than once. Like, you know what I mean? Like a second pass is not like it's not going to take a long time, but it's like if you've gone into it since the original time, then that counts as a second pass if you ask me, especially like this isn't like a solid wall-to-wall blackout project, so you know, it's a little like the inconsistencies aren't as striking as they would be. Mm-hmm. Like, first off, I want to say I really do like this.
I do too.
I don't like the bottom part as much.
Like the stem and the leaf
stem thing. It doesn't look as good as the rose. And for my taste, if you're gonna do this rose, I'd say don't even fucking bother with that leaf. Just make the rose just a little bit bigger. Like, I think you could pull out everything and just make this the whole thing, and then this just looks very detached for me.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know that I would make the rose bigger, but I would have maybe leafed in a different way at the bottom there.
Well, I would have gone with more of a traditional leaf at the very least.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's good. And,
it's amazing. I love it.
The black is fairly solid, and it is dark, but like this is shot in a way where it would be the darkest thing in the frame.
Yep.
Also, whenever you have all this negative space, it amplifies the
blackness. Makes it blacker.
I've said this before, but my favorite version of my blackout sleeves were not the full blackout sleeves. They were like when I still had a few images in them. Not that I'm like wishing to go back. I like my sleeves currently more than my blackout sleeves too. Because when it's just black and there's nothing else, it's like there's no contrast anywhere. And even though you've got a black, it's so like there's nothing there to make anything look dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were always getting annoyed by all the like weird little imperfections because they were always glaring.
The thing is like you see them more when all there is black.
Yeah.
Like
we would take a picture and you would just be like, do they look like this? And I'm like, no. But
it's just like when you have nothing to break up that tone, mm-hmm. It's like any little thing will stand out, and also it doesn't look as striking as this does here. For example.
I really like this. I like the shape of this rose. I like where all the black is put. I really like it.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like it looks very unfinished to me, though. Like it looks like it's half done. Like this doesn't look like the finished product to me. At all. Like it feels like there should be color in the negative. It feels like that should be like hard, like bright red
or yellow
or blue or something.
I like it just as it is, but I do understand what you're saying.
Well, it's nice, and it's not because I dislike negative space that I'm saying this, because I do generally. I don't love negative space. I'm a bit of an enemy of negative space, but I just think that when you've got full wall-to-wall, basically color packing with the black here, and then you've got all this open, it looks very empty compared to that black. Also, I will, just a minor gripe, I do like the line weights, but I think that on the outsides of these roses, you could have gone even harder because they are so large. You could have had like a fucking like 27 mag line on this for the size it is, and it wouldn't have looked out of place.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. I think they could have gone really heavy on that outer line.
You know that big Japanese back piece that Terry lined out? Mm-hmm. That was all mag lined?
That was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
When you're going to make the subject matter this size, or like when he did that kitty, Hello Kitty or whatever on Maddie's back, like when you make a back piece of this size, like you can go ham on the lines. Like they can be like outrageously large.
Oh yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Not that these are small lines, but they could be even bolder, and it wouldn't look out of place. But yeah, this isn't a cover up, and I don't actually think that it would be a like that. I could see why he would think that I would jump to that. But this isn't really a great cover-up because, yes, there's chunks of black here, but there's lots of negative breaking them up all over the place. And, like, the places that you would be covering something aren't so typical here. So
yeah, it's not like it's like the black is perfectly on the shoulder blade, or like those random perfect spots, middle of the back, where people do get their random.
This would
tattoos.
be a very, very difficult thing to work into a cover-up unless the thing you're tattooing was like in a very peculiar place, because there's just too much negative to hide anything. So, but I like this more than what else he's got going on by the looks of things, and. I like the size. I'm always going to be a big fan of anything that's this large. I would make it even bigger, and like I said, bolder lines wouldn't hurt either. So with that, we should probably move on.
All right, so we'll get to this next.
We got a white on black question. What is the question?
Email. All right, it says, "Hey Remy, hope you're doing well. I recently watched your YouTube video, Some Things I've Learned About Tattooing Over Blackouts, that you posted a year ago. I'm having my tattoo. I'm having my tattoo artist do some white over blackout on me. It's his first time doing this, and I'm wondering if you'd still recommend mixing intense titanium silver with white ink, or if you have another / new recommendations since that video."
That was done for a particular reason. I do find that the opaques in general, like when you're covering things, they do seem to do a better job. They don't go as bright, but they seem to plow over the black a little easier. So like now, kind of what I've seen is, and we even did this on my torso too, was like you would go in with an opaque of whatever kind you want. It doesn't really have to be silver. That's just the one that we were using. We used purple silvers and intense titanium. I say silver, and some people jump on me because they're like, that's not a color. It's like, there are silver sets. I know I went on this rant a little while ago, but there are many different silver opaques. They have a lot of black in the mix, and it seems to kind of work with what's there already better than the white does. It also seems to be just a better ink to work with for like a whole span. So like when you're packing a lot of white, it can look really inconsistent because it's super thick, and it's hard to saturate. So it just doesn't look smooth. So if you're doing like a big body, I find the opaques look better. But then later, once you have that mid-tone where the opaques have lightened to the black quite a bit, you can come back in with white after that for the second and third passes, and it seems to be a better result. The rows we did on the back of my head, I think there's just a little bit of white in that. It's almost all different opaques, and it covered really well. Same as the thorns on top of my head that we did last year. That was mostly opaque as well, and just white highlights later. So that would be my recommendation if you're doing a whole lot over black. Treat it more like a traditional cover-up. Traditional cover-ups, you don't just plow white that much. It's more like, you go about it in a way that you're trying to mask things. And I find that the opaques are just a better tone. They're easier to work with, and they seem to hold up better too. They don't darken as much, but for those highlights later, that's where you bring the white in. That's been my experience.
Is there a particular brand of ink that you like with these silver sets?
We're using like Intense and Fusion. That's all. That's all we've used. There's no magic ink.
No, I don't think it's like a magic ink. I'm just sure people are curious.
I'm sure whatever your tattoo artist is comfortable with working with will do the job. Like I've heard all kinds of good things about all kinds of different inks, and they all seem to work.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a question that people might have.
There was a white ink that I really liked, Silverback white, but Silverback ink is out of business now, as far as I know, or at least they don't sell the white anymore due to that pigment ban. So that was a one-guy operation, as far as I know. And I liked that ink because it had more of a pinky finish to it, rather than like the yellowy tone that white is known to have.
Interesting.
So I don't know what to make of that, but I've seen that myself firsthand. So I think this is from our buddy that keeps sending us this jellyfish thing to go to the next one.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one.
He's been working real hard on all kinds. He sends me, I think, a tattoo every week at this point. I just want to say, like, I'm probably not going to get to all of them. Well, I'll get to most of them. And I mean, this looks better than it did. There's more context with all this heavy black.
Yeah, I still like the jellyfish, though. I think it's fun.
Well, I don't know what's going on up there on his fucking, like,
That's
lower
like
thigh.
the surface where all the jellyfish are.
It doesn't look like anything to me, though.
I think it's like the top of the water and all the jellyfish
Maybe
are
when
crowding.
this fills in more, it'll be easier for me to see it, but right now I'm not getting it. I also think that maybe that hard black, those soft shades of black and gray, they're not really blending that well for me, like for my taste, but it is what it is. I don't want to brutalize this. I'd like to see the direction of this. I do like the different ways that people are using heavy black now. Forever, people were afraid of using heavy black. But I do think sometimes people use it too much too.
Yeah, we know some artists that are a little guilty of that.
Where it's like, I don't know what to do for a background. Let's just do black everywhere.
Right. Not everybody wants a background.
So yeah, sometimes some context is key, and at least here it makes sense. Like here, the black is the ocean or whatever.
Yeah,
the fuck,
and the ocean
right?
is dark.
But like sometimes it's a little excessive, and that sounds crazy coming from a guy with, basically a full blackout suit at one point. But artistically speaking, if you're trying to create some kind of a balance or a scene of some kind, just pounding black all over the place sometimes isn't the best answer. So yeah, nice progress though. I'm happy to see you're continuing.
So the next one says, well, there's two separate parts. It says, hey Remy, I sent an email of my self-done blackout but forgot to send a pic. Could you please let me know what you think of my new blackout done by a shop foreman from where I live? Would love to know what you think about it. And then the other part of the email says, I got it redone yesterday and was wondering what you think about it. It was a 2-hour session. This could be shown in a video or just have your opinion on it. It would be awesome. Oh, and we actually have a video of it. How rare.
Yeah,
that-
these very rarely work. So, nice Fast and the Furious. Why are you watching the movie when you sent this list? This is what I'm always saying.
Yeah.
This is people just screwing around in their fucking
For me,
basements.
I'm just bummed out about the lighting.
Well, it's impossible to say anything.
All right, like your blackout looks good,
Well,
but it's poorly lit.
It looks good, but it's also very, like, fucking brand new, and it's not even healed yet.
Right, yeah, and what
like,
people
here we
seem
are
to
in
forget is that ink is sitting on top of the skin in some of those
yeah.
spots.
Yeah.
Because you can't aggressively wipe it.
Well, you have to
much.
see what the skin looks like when the top layer comes off, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it will be more or less the same, and sometimes it won't be. That's just the thing. And even if you did scrub and scrub and scrub, that top layer's got to go before you can really see what's hiding there. I can't say much of anything about this. It looks fine, but we're in the abyss, and the only light we have is coming from the
Really
blue
bad
background
movie.
behind Vin Diesel. So you want my opinion on Fast and Furious movies? I was never a fan, and they've made way too many of them.
Agreed.
I think they need to be done now, and I think they needed to be done for a while, personally. But I'm not a movie critic. I'm not even officially a tattoo critic, so there's my 2 cents. Get me a better photo of this, and I can give you a better idea of what I think about it.
Right, and I don't think anybody should be trying to black themselves out. That's hard.
Yeah.